Hello, good Friday, everyone. Happy end of the week here. We're going to be getting started here as people are logging in. We've got some exciting news from a very unique design and design that is going to be pertinent when it comes to annuities that we're excited about partnering with Ibexis. And so I'll do a little information, talk to some of you out there in reference to IMES, because we've got individuals on the phone that may be new to us, checking us out or have interest in Ibexis. And then we've got those that are currently writing business with us as well in attendance. And I'd like to thank and appreciate your partnership with us and allowing and trusting us to work with you in your business. So thank you. For those of you checking us out, appreciate the opportunity. Look forward to working with you if it ends up we're in a good spot together. If you do have any questions, by all means, reach out, and we'll go through some updates from IMES right now for both groups. And then we'll get right into the prime content. So on the screen, you can see here in my presentation, one of the things I do want to point out, if you are new with us, one thing that we do in the first 180 days when you are with us is we want to incentivize your start with IMES. Understand you're testing a new IMO, even after you've made the decision. We want you to go through and experience the benefits others have found with us, which is our service level guarantee and processing. But at the same time, appreciate the commitment. We want to be able to give back to you. So we have a new producer builder program. Essentially, you submit applications during your first 180 days at different levels that total over the 180 days. We will go back and give you everything from cash all the way through partner with you on maybe an existing marketing program or funnel or seminar that you're using, if it's getting you in front of people to see, to where we can help cover the cost of some of that. And in addition, we've also got some other exciting gives here, iPads, et cetera, and marketing and branding packages. So each one of you will receive this in an email after the event. But if you do have any questions, please reach out, talk to your primary contact here at IMES, your business development director for either annuities, life, or long-term care, and we can help you out. In addition to that, some of you that are checking us out for the first time or are in the process of joining us maybe on the call, we have a incentive program to increase one of the best ways we've found, and you have as well, I'm sure, getting in front of new people to help and talk to. So much like your practice, referrals are not only appreciated, but give us all a quicker opportunity to grow the network of minds we have in IMES. So you have more producers coming on where you can share ideas. And in addition to that, we're going to pay you for it and not take that out of the producer's pocket that you do refer. So if you have an agent that's not part of your agency, that's going to be underneath your group at some, at a different level, and you'd like to refer that individual over here because you're happy with what we're doing, we appreciate it always. Once you do that, we're going to pay you. So 3 different levels. We'll pay you cash the first time that individual contracts. My team and I will handle all the licensing and setup. That's $50 one-time bonus. And then once they start writing on their business, we're going to pay you more. And what we're going to do is pay you on each case. That comes out of our pocket, and that is for the life of their production with us. You can see the breakdown in numbers that'll be on the sheet I send out, but we're going to pay you basis points off of their production and pay them the same level, if they come over that way, that they're currently at, and offer them the others. So we can use this for marketing reimbursement, and we have it broke down differently for different product lines. So again, appreciate the referrals and want to get that information out to you and how you can use it. I did mention our service guarantee. We strive to answer the phone. We have a goal here of answering the phone live within 2 rings. And I've been working for multiple IMOs over my career, and I myself appreciate that. I wish Citibank would do that too, or US Bank, trying to get a hold of them personally. But it has worked for us from the extent that our top, those were agents and advisors, you in the audience that are working with us, have told us we really appreciate that. And that's the feedback we want to gain, and that's the we want to hear. And that's why we do the 2-ring guarantee. In addition to that, once you do get a hold of somebody, we have some of the industry's most dedicated operations staff, service staff, back office support that I have ever seen here to help you out. So if you do need anything, call in. We don't have direct lines. because we want to make sure that if I'm on the other phone, someone else can help you with what you need in a timely fashion. Speaking of time, we are available, and we use Firelight for e-applications for annuities and some life products, and also iPipeline. That's all available on our website. That's a constant growing list of names going on there for that platform. And then also we can help you with marketing and creative solutions. So for your practice, we're at the end of the year. We're looking forward to 2023, but trying to maintain our goals for 2022. If you're in that planning process and you'd like to have us work with you on doing an overall consult or a marketing analysis on your current practice, and then giving some suggestions, starting to work with the creative team to help with your initiatives that you'd like to accomplish either now or next year, reach out to your primary contact here at IMES and make sure to ask about having a marketing analysis done. Our creative team will help us. Your primary contact will take some notes down about your practice, and then we'll turn back around helping you in areas, anything from digital solutions all the way through traditional advertising and a simple logo design. Everything can be accessed on our website, imesinc.com. If you are new with us, talk to your primary person helping you in the journey right now, or myself, and we can get you a password on our website once you're good to go with us, and you can access much more that we just don't have time to talk about here today. So by all means, give us a ring. Those of you in the room that when it comes to the complete client wealth management cycle, we're going to be talking today about a product, and I won't take any thunder from our experts here from Ibexis, but just got off a conversation myself. We've got a different composite of clients right now with the way the world is on a wait and hold. You're probably seeing it where you have clients that have what I'll call sideline money that is not necessarily their qualified plan that they're going to be turning an income benefit onto. It wasn't earning the right rate where they'd like it. Bond alternatives aren't really an alternative anymore that these annuities are going to work great for. But as you're working with the complete client relationship, you may see that a little deeper because you have access to everything that they have. And so if you're considering, you know this if you're already a registered investment advisor or an investment advisor rep, but if you're considering looking at getting your Series 65, we do have our corporate IRA, corporate RIA, IMES Wealth Management. I can get you set up with the conversations with Duncan about how we can help. Don't require production. We are very accustomed to and work very well with those of you that are doing insurance production, annuities, may have had your licenses or don't anymore or never did, help you with everything from even opening up your U10 to scheduling to training recommendations and get you set up and organized within your office so that you can do both. So give us a call if you have an interest in that. If you haven't registered or put yourself on the list for our upcoming face-to-face life and annuity academies training, do so. Get on the list. We partner with different carriers, and with room restrictions, et cetera, we'd like to know who has interest so that we can prioritize who we can register and get in here at certain dates. So if you can, on our website or request it from your primary contact, great opportunity to rub elbows from other top producers that may be going through the same challenges you are, and at the same time hear from advanced sales topics and sales ideas from industry leaders, carriers like we're doing with Ibexis today, and vendors as well as the IMES staff. Love to have you attend. If you're interested, let us know and we'll get you on the list and give you some dates. That being said, I don't want to take the show anymore here. Ryan and Sam, I am going to introduce you now. If you'll give a little background, I'm going to change this over to you and hear from you about the solution that we have that is changing the way we look at the fixed environment here. Let me just change this over to you.
Thanks, Justin. While you're switching that over to me, I'm going to give a little plug if that's okay, to my friends at IMES. And I think actually, Justin, I think you need me to pull up the presentation, correct?
Yes, absolutely. And so
otherwise everybody's looking at a blank screen, but while I'm pulling up my blank screen because I was not diligent in that, I'll just say this. I've worked with IMES for a long time, and I would say not only are they good friends, they are one of the best companies that you could possibly do business with. So as you're thinking about partners that you can do business with in the space, there's not a better partner to be with. And I share that to say, if you are already working with IMES, you know that it's a family you've joined and have been a part of. And so for those of you, again, on the fence, a great organization, great group of people, and I'm honored personally to be able to not only know the group at IMES, but also to be able to do business with them. So thanks, Justin. And I guess I'll just pause a second. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, you bet. So, hey, everybody, thanks for joining. And Justin, again, thanks for introducing us. Thanks for sharing what IMES has to offer. And listen, what I'm going to share with everybody on the call today is a unique offering that's only available to IMES and 8 other organizations in the country. What we're going to talk about today is not only a new company called Ibexis, and that's my company. I run sales and distribution and marketing for Ibexis, and also on the phone with me is my partner in crime and good friend Sam Wiss, who's with Life Innovators. Sam runs sales at Life Innovators, and we partnered with Life Innovators to build this product to offer into the marketplace right now. And the product that we built is called MYGA Plus. But before we get into the product, I think it's only fitting that I give you a little bit of a company overview and share with you who we are as an organization. And so, Ibexis' story is not unlike some of the other entrants or even existing companies in the annuity space right now. So my backdrop, for those of you that don't know me, I led the IMO channel and sales for Athene for the last several years. And what's unique about Athene's story 11 years ago, people would say, huh, I've never heard of that insurance company. And what it was a unique story that was being presented where, so I'm going to meet somebody right there. Trying to meet somebody. But with Athene, the story was, hey, it's a new entrant in the space, but have not heard of them. And people were fearful of these private equity firms and asset managers getting into the space and providing product and support to you, the agent or advisor that's meeting with consumers every day. And so, the Athenes of the world, the F&Gs of the world, the Global Atlantics of the world for the past 10 years or so have been doing exactly what my organization is doing now, and that is looking for an opportunity to provide support into the independent community with innovative products and offering a different way in which we're doing business. So with that, let me get into Ibexis a little bit, and then we'll turn it over to Sam, which is going to be far more interesting as he talks about the product itself. But so if you look at us as an organization, maybe some of you have heard of a company by the name of Sunset Life. They were started 85 years ago in the state of Washington, and they provided insurance products into the country. They were acquired in 1974 by Kansas City Life. And again, I'm sure there are people on the call that have done business with Kansas City Life. And we acquired Sunset Life from Kansas City Life at the beginning of 2022. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that acquisition in a second. But with the partnership we have with our asset manager, again, we'll talk about that shortly. We at Ibexis have an A- rating, which means AM Best looks at us and says, not only are you financially strong, but you're stable. And if you look at the leadership of our organization, we all have an average of well over 20 years in the industry with companies such as Athene, Global Atlantic, Transamerica. I mentioned Athene, and even our CEO he was formerly with Apollo, and he actually helped start Athene. So again, there's a lot of people that have deep roots into this space and experience in this space. One of the other things I want to share with you about our organization is that we're committed to this as a long-term play in the space. So if you think about what's going on in the insurance industry now, and specifically as we talk about annuities, it's really hard to get good people, right? Just like it is at Wendy's or McDonald's to get people that are willing to work. It's also hard for insurance companies to find people who are able to scrub new business apps or take service calls. And what we're doing at Ibexis is a little bit unique in that we're trying to do a more of a technology-based platform. And what I mean by that is that we will only take electronic applications. Those electronic applications will come in through, in your situation, through IMS. And those applications will be scrubbed through our technology portal called FAST, and then will be serviced by our back office. And I share that to simply say what that does is that makes our business scalable. So instead of needing to wait, 15 to 20 business days to get an application reviewed sometimes, or waiting 15 to 20 days for transfer paperwork to go out, this is something that is almost an automated process triggered by the electronic application. So we think that this is a business that's scalable for the future, done a little bit differently. The other thing I want to share with you about Ibex is that we're currently licensed to do business in 43 states and the District of Columbia. And of those 43 states that we're licensed to do business in, we are currently approved with our product in 39 of those 43 states. So let me talk just briefly about Ibexis as a whole. Again, as I shared with you, we're licensed in 43 states in the District of Columbia. We did not buy a back office or a block of business. And one of the reasons we did that is when we acquired Sunset Life from Kansas City Life, we sold the assets to Kansas City Life, so we did not have to manage them. Why is that important to you? We are not necessarily impacting our overall book of business financially or with guarantees because of something that was written 15, 20 years ago. Everything that we are looking at is built on what we sell today moving forward. So we're pricing our product in such a way that we won't have to go back and do large block changes on the business that has been written on the whole. Additionally, we did not necessarily buy an operational platform that has legacy issues. So again, I think about some of the different organizations that are out there that have acquired 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 companies, and they're trying to merge the systems all together. That can be a nightmare. I actually lived that nightmare in the past. What I would tell you is that by launching from scratch, we're essentially building the structure of our organization in a manner that makes it easy to manage day to day immediately. So again, as I also shared with you, we started as Ibexis in April of 2022, and that is how we are operating moving forward as Ibexis Life and Annuity Insurance Company. For those of you that don't know or didn't pick up on it, Ibex is a mountain goat, a really unique mountain goat that is really skilled at climbing. I highly recommend you take a look at some videos on what the Ibex can do, because it's a pretty neat animal. That said, as I digress away from the Ibex itself and talk more about Ibexis, I did share with you that we have a partnership with an asset manager, and that asset manager is a company by the name of InvestCorp. Now, you may not have heard of InvestCorp, but some of you have watched the movie House of Gucci or have shopped at Gucci. Some of you have shopped at Tiffany's. Perhaps you've had Carvel ice cream, one of my favorites. Maybe you've pumped gas at the Circle K. You may have even shopped at Saks Fifth Avenue. If you've done any of those things or know of any of those things, then you know InvestCorp. InvestCorp, as an organization, has owned or still owns those brands, and the ones that they have restructured, they have been wildly successful. In fact, if you've seen the movie House of Gucci, prominently featured in that is the idea that Gucci had to reach out to InvestCorp as an asset partner to come and help fix up the company and turn it around and make it the Gucci brand that it is today. So you do know this brand or the backing of our organization. In addition to that, we talked about the management piece and the 85-year-old platform. We even talked about the rating, the A- rating, which is critically important for you to feel comfortable as you talk about Ibexis with your customers. But the last thing I'll say is that we have this partnership with InvestCorp's investment services group, and that allows us to have access to some investments to create greater yield for customers, and also to provide yield that they may not have been expecting inside the book, to make it profitable not only for us but also to make sure that we are able to provide the best quality of return to the customer at any given time. So that's a little bit about Ibexis, but I know most of you are on the call to learn more about IMES, and more importantly, from my perspective, is to learn more about the product that we are partnering with IMES to distribute on your behalf. And that product is called MYGA Plus. And so I'm going to transition this over to Sam Wiss, and Sam is going to share with you about MYGA Plus, and I think you'll hear from listening to Sam why we're so excited about this product. Sam, take it away.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan. And thanks everybody for having me on. You know, it's been great to partner together with Ryan and Ibexis on the creation of this product, and I'm thrilled to have it live and available for all of you as agents and advisors working with the great organization that is IMES. So I appreciate it very much. The MYGA Plus, which you'll notice momentarily. So the MYGA Plus, what makes it unique, it has both a fixed interest option and an index linked option, which I'll also refer to as the plus bucket. And you'll see here in a second, I think the plus bucket is really what differentiates this product or this MYGA from anything else in the marketplace currently. So with that, let's dive into the details and we'll actually look at the specs of the product. Now, when you look at MYGA Plus at a very high level, it's going to be very similar to other MYGAs in the marketplace in that it's a great CD or money market alternative, a way to get cash off of the sidelines. You know, it's a vehicle that's tax deferred and it credits a fixed interest rate. And the fixed interest rates are on the screen there on your right-hand side. They're simple interest. And we start with a 3-year rate of 425, a 5-year rate of 470, and a 7-year rate of 460. Now, a client at the beginning of the contract, they're going to elect their GOP period, their 3, 5, or 7-year term. And if they wanted to, they could allocate 100% of their premium just to the fixed interest option. Like I said, it can be 100% in that fixed interest option. It'll behave just like other MYGAs in the marketplace. But what they can do is a client, and working with you as a producer, can allocate up to 50% of their premium to the index linked option. And the index linked option and the associated rates are on the screen. We've got 6, 620, and 585. Now, how that index linked option works is it's performance triggered on the S&P 500. Basically, what that means is if the S&P 500 is positive, it only has to be positive 0.01%. If it's positive at all on a point-to-point basis annually, a client will receive that full index linked rate for whatever premium amount that they have allocated to that plus bucket. And you can see from the rates on the screen, you know, the upside on that plus bucket is head and shoulders above any other fixed rate in the marketplace, and really where I think it separates the MYGA Plus from anything else that's out there. Some other things I want to address as well is this product, the MYGA Plus, it's not banded whatsoever. All contracts will receive the same rate, and there is no fee whatsoever for the MYGA Plus or any of the features that are available inside of the product. The 3 and 5 year will issue it to age 85. The 7-year will issue to age 80. It's a $10,000 minimum and $1.5 million maximum without prior approval from Ibexis. The death benefit is equal to the contract value or accumulated value, whatever it is at that time. Free withdrawals, again, no fee for the withdrawals, and they start at 10% beginning in year 2. In the state availability, we have 39 states currently available with some other ones on the horizon, but the state availabilities are in the bottom left-hand corner of the slide if you want to check those and see if they're available near you currently. So again, we talked about the 2 buckets. Let's dive into the fixed option here initially and just put some numbers to the theory, if you will. Again, like I said previously, up to 100% of a client's premium, you can go ahead and allocate that into the fixed option. And the table on the screen is showing a 100% allocation to the fixed option in the 3-year product, paying 425. So as you can see, very simple, very straightforward. The first contract year, a client would receive an interest credit of $42.50, and they would receive that $42.50 every year for 3 years. And at the end of the 3-year term, their $100,000 would have grown to $112,750. Now, taking a closer look at the index-linked option and the plus bucket, again, like I mentioned previously, at the beginning of a contract, a client has the option of allocating up to 50% of their initial premium to this index-linked option or plus bucket. Again, it's tied to the S&P 500 and it is performance triggered. So in this example, we're looking at a 3-year GOP period. The index linked rate is 6% on an initial premium of $50,000. We're assuming a $100,000 contract is split 50-50. So in the first contract year, theoretically, if the S&P 500 in this example was up 1%, simply up 1%, a client would be credited that full 6% on the $50,000 for an interest credit or contract credit of $3,000. In year 2, the index is down 3.5%. So in that case, the client would get a 0 for the plus bucket in this scenario, but they still would receive the fixed rate for whatever they have allocated to that fixed bucket. In year 3, we're assuming the index is up 7%. In that case, again, a client will be credited the 6% index linked rate on $50,000 for an end result of $3,000 for an interest credit that year. So now what I'd like to do is let's put both of those together into one contract again, so you can see how these numbers work. We'll look at a 50-50 split allocation example with a $100,000 premium, and I'll draw your attention to the right-hand side of the screen here. A 50-50 split, the 50,000 in the fixed bucket will grow at 4.7% per year, and at the end of the 5-year term, the client would have 61,750 for the fixed bucket. And in the plus bucket, with the index linked rate, that 50,000 would grow to 62,400. We're assuming that the S&P 500 was positive 4 out of 5 years in that 5-year scenario, and that's probably a question that you're asking yourself, and that's an unknown, right? Is how often is the S&P 500 going to be positive on an annual basis? And we actually ran the numbers. We ran the numbers over the last 95 years on a daily basis, looking forward 1 year, how often was the S&P 500 positive? And it was about 76% of the time. So we rounded up slightly here to 80%, called it 4 out of 5, and a client would have 62,400. If you put both of those together, you've got 124,150 or a yield of 4.83%, again, on a 5-year product, which is extremely competitive. One other question that has come up a couple of times is, can you sit down with the client and can you reallocate between the fixed bucket and the plus bucket annually? Can you change your allocations annually? And the answer to that is no, you cannot. Once you set it at the beginning of the 3, 5, or 7-year term, it's set. But the trade-off is both the fixed rate and the index-linked rates. Those are guaranteed for the term. You don't have to worry about coming back on a renewal a year or two down the line and the index-linked rate is lower. Both the fixed rate and the index-linked rate guaranteed for the 3, 5, and 7-year terms. Next, I just want to touch on the withdrawals briefly. Again, there's no fee for liquidity, and a client will have access to 10% free withdrawals beginning in year 2. One of the nice things about the withdrawals is a client, you can sit down with your client, you can decide whether you want to take the withdrawal from the fixed bucket or the plus bucket if you have a split allocation there. And also, upon maturity of the 3, 5, or 7-year term, you'll receive a letter along with your clients 45 days prior detailing the options that you have. You can renew the contract, you can make a full or partial withdrawal or transfer the funds, and you can also annuitize under the available annuitization options. If no selection is made after 30 days after the end of the term, The contract will renew, and it will renew into the same 3, 5, or 7-year term with the same allocations that were in the previous contract between the fixed bucket and the plus bucket. And lastly, waivers. Again, these waivers are included in the plan, and there's an extended care waiver, which is ultimately a confinement waiver to a confinement in a nursing home or hospital for 90 consecutive days. And then there's also a terminal illness waiver that's available, and that is you're allowed to exercise that if a client has a terminal illness expecting death within the next 12 months. So again, those are all included in the contract. And I think that wraps up the MYGA Plus at a high level. We're very excited to have this live and in market. And thanks again for having me on. And with that, I will turn it back over to Ryan to close things out.
Thanks, Sam. I really appreciate the insight on the product. And listen, just to recap, just as is true in the majority of MYGAs out there, obviously you have principal protection. You have guarantees. I mean, the guarantees are why so many of our customers buy fixed annuities anyway. Of course, the tax deferral benefit that is incumbent upon a fixed annuity. Most fixed annuities out there have liquidity. And again, some of them have them with a charge. Ours, as Sam alluded to, liquidity is built into the product, so it's there for your taking. But of course, the biggest thing that we want to highlight is that plus bucket. It's really an exciting feature inside the product. So again, in addition to offering top of market rates on the fixed component, we're offering an additional ability to get yield on the utilizing the plus bucket. And we think that's a really exciting story to be able to tell your customers and to promote out in the marketplace right now. So again, as we've said, we're really excited about it, and we couldn't be more excited to partner with IMES on this. Like I said earlier in my comments, we are only offering this through 9 marketing organizations, IMES being one of them, because they're such a great partner, and they're very much focused on providing great solutions to their customers. So with that, Justin, I will turn it back to you. Thanks for having us on.
Ryan, Sam, thank you both, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much for your time. And you hit it right on the head as I look at this. I appreciate the kind words about IMES. One of the things I personally appreciate about us is just that, being able to offer my producers choices. And in a time of potential indecision and confusion in our world, I'm sure you like the opportunity as well to be able to, when listening to a client, have a choice based on their own concerns and what they may need. And that's why we want to continue to partner and have partnerships like this. A- rated carrier with these features, unheard of. I think we're going to have some conversations around this that may lead to opportunities elsewhere with the client. So thank you. Just to wrap up here, because many of you may have additional questions, I want to do a quick poll, if you're okay. I'm going to start some polling questions. But if you do have questions outside of this poll, know this, we are going to be reaching out to you. So if you answer anything in reference to the questions I answer now here, your contact will reach out to you. But if you haven't heard from us and you have a case or a question right now, feel free to give us a call after the webinar, 800-255-5055. So let's start these polling questions all here, and thank you for attending. First question I'm going to pose today here, and I'll give everybody a little moment to start this, is, would you like to contract with Ibexis? So as Ryan had mentioned, we're one of 9 organizations, collaborative sales partners with Ibexis. And if you're already with us, we can get you set up, or even if you're not, we can get you set up so you have access to this when your clients ask, or a potential solution, which is a good thing competitive advantage-wise. So appreciate you responding here, and give it about 10 seconds. We'll close this one out, and we'll reach out to you, send you the Assurance Bay material to get licensed digitally. That's already set up. It will be relatively quick for those of you that are familiar, and we'll let you know. We'll call you if you have any questions. So that question will go ahead and close. And my next question to you here that you may have an interest in is, would you like to see an illustration? specific client you're working on? Do you have a case or somebody that you think may be a fit, but obviously you're new to the product, like prior to the webinar? Is there a design that we need to work with you on and assist you with, or an illustration to help you better understand? Definitely, if you're working on, as you go through these presentations, I know I do, I create a list of who would that be good for? Who was that client we were working on the other day? We can definitely help there. It goes both ways. We appreciate the opportunity in business, but also helps us all learn together as well how the product works and comfort level. So thank you for answering that one. Close that one up here. And the last one here, in this one I mentioned earlier, whether you're with IMES and you're familiar with our training academies, or if you're new, or if you just forgot over this 2-year sit still with the pandemic when we had to close things down, we host, and our goal is to continue to partner with our carrier partners and also our advisors to host quality relationship building, ability to rub elbows with other producers, but high-level sales concepts in our office or in partnership in other locations with our carrier partners. Those are back on the table. We're putting together our planning for dates of next year. We already have an upcoming one here that you'll hear about. If you have interest, get on the list. As you know, 100 people can't fit in one room, and especially not nowadays. We want to make sure that we get understand your interest and give you a call and get you set up and get you on the list here, so that when we register, we can pick some dates for you. Let us know on our website if you have interest, and thank you for answering that. That being said, each of you, as you we will have a recorded copy of this link. It'll be also available on IMES's YouTube page. Urge you to check that out too if you're ever looking for where can I find any of IMES webinars. Everything that we have is on our YouTube page. Feel free to like it or join it. No commitment to you or spamming or anything like that, but you will have access to everything at the touch of a fingertip. And then we'll also be getting you information in reference to the company as we connect with you in those cases. Appreciate your time this afternoon. Excited about this, and I think Ryan and Sam, as we talked this morning, it's a great day to have the ability to sell and position fixed annuities. I agree with that whole. Thank you both for attending, and thank you, advisors. We'll look forward to connecting with you soon.